There's no way around it. When it comes to healthcare, people are really frustrated with how much it costs and how to pay for it. That's why Medi-Share is such a welcome relief. It's called healthcare sharing. More than 1 million Americans are already doing this, and you could save thousands of dollars a year on your healthcare and be happy. Imagine that. So find out more at medishare.com/Kirk. That's medishare.com/Kirk, or just text the word KIRK, Kirk, to 70246. That's Kirk to 70246. I'm very excited about this next, we're going to devote the second half of hour 2 here to this discussion, and it's about the economy. It's about what you need to do in this certain economic situation that we find ourselves in. It's very unpredictable, a little chaotic. Joining me now is Daniel Boston, founder of Preserve Gold. Welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you. You are one of those companies that when everything went down and the tragedy that we all experienced, you guys have just remained steadfast, and you have my respect, my appreciation, and also, the reason that we were with you to begin with. I mean, it was a really intense vetting process that we went through, and so we knew that you guys were our kind of people. We knew that there was alignment on a bunch of different things, but then the way that you've handled this in the aftermath has been just amazing. So honored to have you here, and you even just got a tour of all the buildings. I mean, so we could start there if you want to tell us what you thought of it.
It was unbelievable. When Charlie passed, it was, the moment, it's still surreal now. It's still hard to just really believe that this has actually happened, but to see the overwhelming support that's flooded into this place from all over the country, for the last 12 years, really, it's just felt like a country that's become more and more divided. And, through this event, you're seeing people come together at levels that's just really hard to imagine. So, one of my favorite verses is all things work together for good. And I just can't think of a situation that's more where that rings more true than this one.
Yeah. And I think a lot of has been made of some of the bad behavior that we've seen, some of the worst of humanity, if you will. But I'm always the voice telling people, I'm like, yeah, we should call it out because it's disgusting, it's gross. But like the amount of positive has so overwhelmed the negative. And when you're in our vantage point, when you see it from here and you see the mailroom where we have, I don't know if they showed you that.
Yeah, we saw it.
With the endless amount of gifts and letters and paintings and trinkets and that came in from all over the country to honor Charlie and to pay their respects to Erica. I always say we don't grieve the way the world grieves, and I miss Charlie every day. He's the first thing I think about when I wake up. He's the last thing I think about before I go to bed. I've literally only been watching Seinfeld because Charlie loves Seinfeld, and it's like, I fall asleep to Seinfeld because it makes me think of Charlie, and I just, last night I was watching Golden Boy. That's a t-shirt with Golden Boy. Charlie used to always like joking about Golden Boy. It's Jerry Seinfeld's favorite t-shirt. I mean, I miss him so much, but I know that God put him on this planet to do this very remarkable thing, and that is to galvanize the youth, to inspire a new generation to believe in the American idea, the social compact that this country has made with generations of Americans. And right now we're looking at a situation where some of that work that Charlie did is being threatened. Economic conditions are rough, especially for younger Americans trying to get a job. The dollar is all over the place. President Trump's doing his best. We're trying to get this investment, foreign investment, other companies investing again in manufacturing, but there's a lot of headwinds. There's a lot of headwinds, and AI's coming on. So from an economic standpoint, and this was one of Charlie's biggest passions, economically, could you sum up this current moment for us? I mean, I know we're going to get into precious metals, we're going to get into gold, we're going to get into hedging. How do you take care of yourself? But right now in this economic moment, what do you make of this climate?
Yeah, there's a lot to try and digest in terms of what's going on right now. And what I would tell people is, up to the year 2000, we were in a growth-based economy. Interest rates were really high. In the 80s and 90s, we saw interest rates climb almost 18%. And so you could put money in a savings account and earn a really nice return. since the year 2000, really to present, we've seen interest rates practically go to zero, which has de-incentivized people from putting money into these types of accounts where you can accumulate. And so the way that we would invest up to the year 2000 should be a lot different than the way that we're approaching our finances today. We're in a debt-based economy now, and it's extremely problematic because when you hold the reserve currency status, the U.S. dollar is the world reserve currency. That situation seems to be eroding pretty quickly. Went off the petrodollar last year, and what's really compelling to me right now is that just since COVID in the year 2020, the dollar's lost about 25% of its value, and that's due to money printing and inflation. And I don't think people really understand the damage that this causes to someone who's trying to save and prepare for retirement. So the only thing that gives the dollar any real value is the faith that the American public puts into it, and really the world puts into it. And so when you have a Fed that seems to believe that money grows on trees, that whenever we have problems, we can just print our problems away, that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, and I want to talk about that because, I'm just looking at the price of gold here. In the last year, it's gone up $1,526. It's gone up 57%. That's a lot.
Pretty unbelievable.
That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that much. So if you would have bought gold at, let's see here, let's just say a year ago, it would have been, I think I've got, 26.54. Now you buy gold, it's at 42.01.
Speaks for itself, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what. So it's funny because I think gold companies sometimes, like precious metal companies, get like a bad rap. Like, and by the way, we work with you because you guys are really good at this, and you are good people. That's the key. There are shysters in the space. You guys are not one of them. That's why we chose you. You chose us. But this is it goes up $1,500 in a year, 57%. That's real. Like that is a hedge against this easy money, as Steve Bannon calls it, the lords of easy money that print us into the weakening of the U.S. dollar. You got the BRICS nations that are weakening the U.S. dollar, that are trying to create a sort of bipolar economic world. Mm-hmm. And here you got gold that's holding steady. Not only holding steady, it's growing tremendously. And this is the key, is that real working people, people that are not the economic incumbents, as I call them. Economic incumbents have a lot of assets. They have housing valuations that are going through the roof. They've got 401ks and stocks and bonds and all of these things. But it's working class people too that really get hit and holding the bag here when your inflation hollows out your purchasing power.
Right.
And so it's like these are the hedges that real people can access and get through preserved gold that can get into this economy and make sure that the policies out of Washington are not bankrupting them.
Yeah, I mean, what I would add is, if you're holding a stock, for example, if you liquidate that stock, you got to go into cash. So you're at the mercy of the dollar, because the dollar is the root of pretty much every financial instrument that you utilize. Gold going up the way it's gone up, silver performing the way it's been performing. And we haven't really seen inflation or real market volatility get priced into the financial markets. So the fact that it's moving up the way it is, it's almost as if it's moving up in anticipation of what's going to come. I mean, I always tell people Donald Trump has a responsibility to the overall welfare and health of the economy. Americans have a responsibility to their own finances. And, I think we're going to see that the policies that he's putting in place are going to create that they can create pain, especially short term.
Disruption.
There
is going to be economic disruption.
Correct.
If we're going to set the house straight, if we're going to settle accounts, if we're going to set ourselves up for a brighter economic future, there's absolutely going to be disruption. Not only that, there's going to be the AI revolution disruption. Right, we're seeing this with new graduates trying to get jobs in the economy. There's going to be disruption, and that's why these conversations are so important when we're talking about what we're going to do next.
Yeah, I think the question you should ask yourself is, why has gold and why has silver performed the way it has? And I think if you just go throughout history, I mean, you can go back to the Great Depression, but every single time we've had a major market crash. In 2000, we had the techmania.com bubble burst. Essentially what happened is first the bond market went sideways. Oil prices plummeted. The dollar sold off. The bond market sold off shortly thereafter as well. Gold and silver prices more than doubled. In 2008, during the housing crisis, same thing. So when money rotates out of stocks and bonds during a market crash, when it rotates out of cash during periods of inflation, it just needs a place to go. It tends to gravitate towards gold and silver first because they're the classic safe haven investments, and that's what causes prices to go up. So if you're trying to, if you look at the economic climate and you go, over the next 2, 3, 4 years, do I believe the market's going to be higher or lower? If the answer is lower, then what can I use to hedge against that downside? You don't put all your eggs in one basket on either side, but the more you can diversify a portfolio against market risk and take advantage of growth, then the better off you are in the long term, because that's what investing should be. It should be long-term focused.
Absolutely. And long-term, I mean, again, this isn't long-term, but year to date, I'm looking at gold right now, and it's actually up even more, or silver. I'm looking at silver right now. Silver's actually up more than gold year to date. Mm-hmm. So if you would have bought at the beginning of the year, it would have been, let's see here, $29, $29.90, something like that. Now it is at $53.46. That's a 75 point. Well, now it's going up and down. 4 or 5% increase. Why is silver going up faster than gold? I'm just curious. We have about a minute left in this segment.
That's a great question. Gold and silver are brother sister metals. They track each other. So gold's all-time high before this run-up was around $2,000 an ounce. It reached that number in response to the 2008 financial crisis from 2008 to 2011. At the same time, we saw silver go to 50. So now gold being at 4,000, gold's doubled its record high. Silver just hit its record high. So you can easily make the argument that percentage-wise, silver will be the better performer. It will continue to go up. I think we're going to see gold, if I had to guess, by the middle of next year, we could see gold at 6,000, 6,500. And if that happens, we can easily see silver, I think, between $75 and $100 an ounce.
Wow. We say that again. You think gold could, I mean, obviously, this is not, nobody knows what the future holds, but you were saying you think it's possible to see gold hit what?
$6,000, $6,500 an ounce. And this is just not my opinions. We've seen Bank of America, Goldman Sachs come out with forecasts that would be in line with these kinds of numbers. Yeah.
$2,400 higher than it is right now. Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. You're getting my attention, which I guess is what, it's your job, but that's an amazing, I mean, there's a lot of people predicting that. We are joined by Daniel Boston from Preserve Gold. You were just telling me it's surreal to be in here, and I agree, actually. Every time I step into this studio space and I look at Charlie's empty chair and see that amazing picture, I believe that was from the RFK endorsement event that we put on the back here in Phoenix when RFK endorsed President Trump. We actually produced that at Turning Point. I mean, tell us, I mean, when you walk into the space, what do you feel?
Unbelievably, it's a sense of peace, calmness.
Wow.
When I stepped in, it was, initial sadness, just thinking about the person that we lost. But when I feel the presence in the room, the energy in the room, I feel peace.
Yeah. I think Charlie felt that too. He loved being in here, and we found him his big, giant Nephilim chair. Charlie was huge. He was like 6'5", and everybody always, the first thing is, you're taller than I realized. I don't know what they thought he was, but yeah, he was a big, big guy. And so we have his giant chair here, and it's brings me peace too sometimes to look at it. We are here with Preserve Gold, Daniel Boston. Ooh, what is this? This looks like fun stuff. I love. Oh, this is silver, right?
The 5 ounce silver, America the Beautiful.
5 ounce silver, and it's a quarter. Can I get a zoom in on this?
That's a 5 ounce silver coin.
5 ounce.
They use George Washington as one side of the coin.
What's that?
George Washington is one side, and then that coin makes up different state parts on the other
Chickasaw.
side.
This would be Oklahoma. Oh, yeah, because it's 2011, how they did all the 50 states of the quarters. This is great. It's heavy, man.
Yeah, it's a beautiful coin.
That is awesome. Okay, so listen, if somebody's out there by the way, I just want to give a bit of breaking news here. Senator John Fetterman apparently has fallen and has been rushed to the hospital. He had a ventricular fibrillation flare-up that caused him to fall and hit his face, but I'm told that he's in good spirits. He's saying, if you thought my face looked bad before, wait until you see it now. So actually just, I know that John Fetterman still votes like a Dem most of the time, and that is what it is. But he's been defending Charlie. He's been defending free speech. He's been a voice of reason. So I'm happy to hear he's doing well. So back to the topic at hand here, though. You've got the Precious Metals IRA 2025. So Is IRA the kind of the way that is that like the what you found is if you've not invested in precious metals, gold and silver and all these things, is that the best way to kind of get started? Do you think is that the easiest way, or what do you recommend? What's the course of action?
I recommend, so there's two different ways you can go about getting started with Preserve Gold, but it really depends on everyone's unique situation. We really try and take time with the people that we're
Good.
working with to understand their goals, ask the right questions so we can understand that situation, then make recommendations based on that. The IRA program that we offer allows you to take your existing retirement account, whether it's an IRA, a 401k, 403b, TSP, any kind of qualified retirement account. You can roll those funds in that account over completely tax-free, penalty-free into a new IRA we'd establish for you that can hold physical gold or silver inside the account. So that way, instead of having exposure to stocks, bonds, mutual funds, really paper-based assets, you can have hard physical metals inside the account backing it up.
Yeah, I got an email here from Steve. It says, please ask how much it costs to sell gold and silver. Is that a? I guess, if you have it, does it cost extra? Is there a way to roll it over in a strategic way?
Yeah. So whatever you buy from Preserve Gold, this is one of the main reasons why our clients love working with us, amongst many. But when you go to buy gold and silver from us, when it comes time for you to sell or liquidate out of your position, we charge 0 fees.
Wow.
We give people the highest posted price on the market. When they go to liquidate, 0 fees.
Wow, that's great. And other people, I presume he's asking that question because he's run into other people that maybe do.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's dealers out there that can charge 10, 20% on the way out. So you invest $100,000, they're taking $10,000 to $20,000 on the way out.
No kidding.
We don't do that.
That's legal for them to do that.
They can, yeah. I mean, this industry, that's something we should probably talk about.
Okay, talk about it.
There are some bad actors in this industry. I'm obviously not going to mention any names. But the reason why I actually founded Preserve Gold to begin with was because, I had been in the industry doing this for over a decade before I started my company, Preserve Gold, and realized there just had to be a better way. I have seen things from, sales representatives, gold brokers lying about fees being charged, shipping taking 6 months or longer for metals to be delivered, and all kinds of nightmare stories. Preserve Gold was launched with a mission of transparency being at the forefront of everything that we do. So from disclosing fees to getting products shipped out promptly, using the correct security protocols, and I think our reputation really
that's what
represents.
That's what we found because of all the. And I told your team as well. Our standard in this space is like super, super high, because we only want to work with people like yourself that do this the right way. Because our audience is everything to us, and we don't want to lead them down a path they're gonna. I do not want one negative email from any of our sponsors, but especially this category. And you guys, when we looked at it, you guys had the best reputation of anybody out there.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. Everything is in full transparency, full disclosure. We have nothing to hide. There's a cost associated with doing business. We got to keep the lights on, but we want to make sure that people understand what those costs are. And the approach that we take with people that we work with, it's a no sales pressure strategy where it's very educational based. We ask questions. We get to know the people that we're working with. It's relationship oriented. And then based on that, we can make some recommendations so that people can land in a place where they can make the best decision for themselves.
Well, so if you want to do this, go to preservegold.com/Charlie. We got that right up there, the URL. Check that out. Helps the show too. But frankly, precious metals has been through the roof. So please check it out. Yeah. Thank you. Daniel Boston, Preserve Gold. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys tomorrow.